The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 798. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend, welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She is a Canadian Screen Award-nominated actress currently based in Toronto, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Emily Piggford. Emily, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi, Sheena. Thank you so much for having me. It's really great to speak with you today. Yes, I'm based in Toronto. I grew up on the west coast of Canada on a farm just outside of Victoria, BC. So Vancouver Island is the general area. My mother is Japanese, my father is British, and I was born and raised out there in Canada. I've always loved performing from, the first thing I wanted to be was a singer when I was 3 years old, and I kind of declared that. And then I moved into dance when I was 4, and violin when I was 4, and piano when I was 6, and it just kind of snowballed from there and eventually led me to University of Victoria, where I studied theatre, and then I moved to Toronto right after that. And since then, it's been a really wonderful combination of screen work and stage work and creating work with my friends and really talented individuals out here. So it's been nice. Lots of fun. Good work and growing opportunities.
Thanks for sharing that. And what'd be your favorite self-confidence quote?
It's an awesome quote by Brene Brown. I'm actually reading her book right now, Dare to Lead, which is just filled with goodies. But the one that I pulled out for today is, believing that you're enough is what gives you the courage to be authentic.
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And I really like that because, as women, especially as Asian women, we feel like we're never enough and we have to pretend to be somebody else or feel like we have to be someone else for the sake of our families or society. But really, all we need is just to be ourselves and realize that we are more than enough to live that authentic life. So thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
For me, I've found that it's about not letting the fear of what others think of me prevent me from actually getting to know myself and then have the courage to show that self and be that individual. And also then the courage to accept that I don't have to be everybody's person. Similar to what you're mentioning about different kind of expectations that might be placed on us, we also internalize those, place them on ourselves, and it's, for me, the journey towards self-confidence is, cutting through the noise of what we think we should be or what others think we should be, and just really loving who we are and growing that.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Emily, what was your life like before you discovered self-confidence?
I'm a very private person. I guess you could say that it's quite like I still go out, see people, go to events, and have a social life to speak of, but I'm quite an introverted person. I'd be defined maybe as an extroverted introvert. So when I am invited out, I have the energy to do it, but then it might take me a while to replenish my energy stores, and I need to do that generally alone. And then more recently, a bit of social anxiety started to come in where it became a bit more stressful even to consider going out because I was either afraid that I might not measure up when I was out or if I were on set, if it was in regards to work. But also there was this worry that I would be falling behind in my own personal either growth or development or to-do list, even just something just like seemingly as simple as that. And so my life before kind of getting more familiar with my self-confidence was very private because I would just be at home working away, always trying to catch up, feeling like, I'll reach out to people when I'm ready and everything is off my plate so that I can just be present and be spontaneous. But it's that old thing of like, when are you ever totally ready? It's better to just continue to live your life and trust that you will be able to still like pick up the pieces and do good work and show up for your friends and show up for yourself, even if situations aren't optimal, if your whole to-do list isn't clear or something.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think we've all been guilty of that. We just feel like we need to prepare to the point of like, we forget why we prepare. And, we're so afraid of the unknown and the unexpected that we feel like we need to take control of every single thing, not realizing like, the more we put pressure on ourselves to do that, we actually kind of step back and realize it's too much for us and we end up not doing anything. And sometimes we just have to like let things happen naturally, right? And see where it goes. Like you mentioned, just letting it flow no matter what happens. Because in life, everything's like an up and down journey. It's never linear. Stuff's going to happen. We're going to have roadblocks and challenges, and we're also going to have victories. And, you know, it's just all part of life. And what was that point in your life when you realized you can go out there and be who you really are today, have that confidence? What was that aha moment?
I would say the most distinct aha moment for me was actually very recent as a couple months ago, when I'd gone on this road trip with some friends, and it was spontaneous. It was just for like an overnight, and we had so much fun. And I was sitting in the back of the car, we were driving back, and it was nighttime, and I suddenly got filled with emotion. I was very moved, realizing how much richer my life was for pushing past fear or social anxiety, or that trying to control the unexpected, and just spending time with people and doing something new and hearing their stories and learning from them, and just being calm and confident in being quiet, and also receiving, because it seemed like an amazing gesture to be invited on this road trip. I thought, how can I be worthy of that? How can I repay that? How can I show up to make it worth the invitation for them? And it was just this very relieving moment of feeling like life is that flow, and it's a constant flow of give and take. And you're welcome to also just receive great advice and great experiences and great friendship. And you'll actually be a more well-rounded and confident person for that. So that was kind of a revelation for me, who always feels like I need to kind of tuck away and isolate in order to be ready, in order to be calm enough or good enough out in the world. It's like, just go for it. Just go enjoy the world with your friends.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love how you mentioned, you know, having the flow of give and receive, because, you know, as women, especially like Asian women, we're so prone to just give, that it's so hard for us to receive something, even something as small as like a compliment.
Yeah.
We discount ourselves saying like, oh no, you know, I don't look good today. You're just saying that. But really, you know, we have to practice those little things, even if it starts with a compliment, because how do you expect to receive the small things in life when you can't even receive the bigger things in life? And, you know, I'm guilty of it as well. People say something nice, I kind of like tuck away and just say, kind of play it down. But, you know, it's a part of the process, right? We have to learn to kind of like just keep practicing on learning to receive things into our lives, right? Because it, like you mentioned, has to have that balance and that flow of give and receive. And I like that you mentioned that, because I think it's something that we all need to have a reminder of, right? Like, you don't always have to give. You also have to receive to, you know, have that energy flow and make us more sane and realize like it's just part of life. And because of that realization, what's your life been like now?
I'm taking a lot more pressure off of myself. I actually find myself daily giving myself just a micro pep talk of it's okay, just to take the pressure off myself in terms of either that to-do list or performance or showing up in conversations. It's like you can just be present, and that is doing your best sometimes. And so I'm in the process of really taking a look at all the different boundaries I've placed around myself, the expectations I've placed on myself, and evaluating how many of those were actually built on fear rather than just like letting myself be and actually valuing the individual that I am instead of something or someone else that I think I should be. And so that's been a challenging but also a very relieving process. So since then I've been, honestly, I'm going to yoga every day, which is very nice, and just making sure that I eke out just like an hour each day to focus on being present and being mindful and giving myself that time to just slow down and to feel like I'm worthy of that time. You're worth taking an hour just to take care of yourself. That's valuable.
Thanks for sharing that. And I totally agree. Self-care is definitely needed, especially, you know, like it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take an hour to yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to go by yourself and do yoga or get your nails done or get your hair done. Whatever it is, whatever helps you build that confidence, it's okay. And I think we just have to keep reminding ourselves, like, you know, self-care is part of the process, because it's not like they teach this in school. Nobody talks about how to build self-confidence or how to take care of yourself, why self-care is needed. So it's great that you're able to share that and realize, like, you know, we're not the only ones who do that. Everyone.
Yes. And everybody is different and has different kind of needs and rhythms. And so it's a really fulfilling process to just kind of understand what you need to feel good, what your kind of self-love and self-care is, and then give that to yourself, because it's so important for you. And then that will just ripple out into your friends, your family, and your community. So it's definitely worthy.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. To the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you'd give to her?
I would say, again, going back to that idea that your self-care and the way that you love yourself is valuable and important, and it's worth your time and attention. And to kind of destigmatize this word of selfish, and to see that your self-care is important, and to value the way that we're tender to ourselves over the ways that we are critical of ourselves or that others are critical of us. So yeah, just when you catch yourself saying those kind of diminishing things to yourselves, those critical things to yourself, ask yourself why those voices might seem more valid than the kind ones, and do whatever you need to in your life to just practice phasing those out or seeing those voices as not the overriding truthful voices in our lives, those critical ones. We can certainly learn from some of those, the constructive criticism of our inner voice or outer voices, but I'd say let yourself lean into the kindness of others and the kindness that you show yourself. It's so important, and your self-confidence will grow from that.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do and check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Definitely. My handle across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is mpiggford. So that's EMPIGGFORD. And I keep up with promotion about what's coming up or what I've just done. And that's it.
Thanks for sharing that. To our listeners, if you want to connect with Emily, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Emily's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Emily today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheena. Sheena, this was so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.